What does Korean sound like to you as a language? What's the vibe, the feeling, the melody, the rhythm? I'm curious compared to other languages.
My first impression and like kind of the reason why I wanted to learn Korean is because it sounds so whiny.
That's what I was gonna say. I heard a lot of people say that. Like it sounds a bit like you're complaining, you know,
all the time.
Like just a bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Not that they're always mad, but like just aggressive.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Because you know, I would say it's whiny in the sense that like you know when like instead of being like for example like when you want to say 왜 그래, you would be like 왜 그래, you know. So it's always like
with
it's always like
the
they're
tones.
Like,
It's like up and down,
Yeah.
and then it most of the time it just like ends in a more like down note.
Yeah, they're elongating it.
Yeah, that sounds very K-drama-y.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, I thought it was only in K-dramas until I moved to Korea and I
you
realized
meet
like people
actual-
actually talk like that. So.
What does the Korean language sound like to you? What's like the rhythm, the feel, the vibe of it?
Very emotional.
Very emotional.
Yes, they when they say something, it's like 감사합니다, 감사합니다. Like the pronouncing is very different. It's not like in our country. In our country, you say thank you, merci. Very
Short.
The words are, they sound longer.
They're
and
longer,
the pronunciation is different.
Yeah. Does it sound beautiful? Does it sound aggressive? Does it sound nice?
For me, it doesn't sound aggressive.
Uh-huh.
Kind and calm.
Yeah, calm.
Calm.
Yeah.
Someone's walking in the room, they're speaking Korean, you're just like, okay, you're cool, you're calm.
It's a different vibe like European languages.
German is very aggressive.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, German's aggressive.
Yeah.
And Korean is like a flower.
Yeah, a little bit like a cherry blossom.
Nice one. Nice. How does English sound?
Cool.
It's normal.
Yeah, normal, cool.
Normal. It's just so common that it's not special.
I think the most beautiful language is Italian. It's more like a music.
Do you agree with her?
Yes, and Korean is beautiful too.
Korean too.
And Japanese.
She wants to learn Korean.
You can do it. Yeah, you can do it. What's the feeling it gives you when you hear the Korean
So when
language?
I hear anger at the beginning, I watch some Netflix stuff and I feel angry a bit. But then my friends tell me that, like non-Turkish friends, it sounds like Turkish. I don't know how.
Isn't the grammar similar?
Grammar is very similar, but there's no common words. Grammar is very similar.
But no common words.
Yeah, like I mean, we use lots of sounds as well in Turkish.
Sure.
So yeah, it's similar.
Does it sound rhythmic or does it sound like
It's rhythmic.
flowy? It sounds rhythmic.
Yeah, it sounds rhythmic. Yeah.
What's like the melody? Is there like a melody to it?
Like when you hear Farsi, even they are talking Iranians, when they talk about something like even anger, it sounds so good. Or French, it's always nice when you hear. Korean, I don't know. It's different. I feel a bit anger or like tension there when I hear it.
Tension up. How does Korean sound as a language? What does it sound like to you?
But for me, it sounds more fun.
Sounds fun.
It sounds more interesting. I pick up some words, so it's more easier to understand. But I just find it more fun. Like I don't like my own language. It's
Dutch.
It's like the whole time. Even my Korean friends keep saying like whenever you speak Dutch, it's like. So yeah, then I'm thinking like that's not a beautiful language. But with Korean, I don't know. It sounds more happy and more fun.
How about like the melody, the flow? What impression does that give you?
It goes a little bit like this.
Wavy?
Yeah. So it already sounds more comfortable to the ear.
Yeah. Beautiful language. Yeah. You're not a fan of Dutch?
No, absolutely not. I hope my people at home don't hate me for that. But I think most Dutch people like around my age, we prefer to speak more English than our own language.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Young people in Netherlands mostly are very fluent in English. Is that right?
Yeah. We study I started to learn it when I was 6 years old. And basically now they even get it when they're 4 years old.
Yeah. So do you speak with your Dutch friends in English?
Yeah.
Really? More than Dutch?
Yeah.
Wow. How does the Korean language sound to you?
I would say to me it's like very foreign since I'm I speak Swiss German, and we don't have anything like that. It might sound strange, but for me it's a bit like French, a little bit.
Yeah.
It has a bit of a French touch sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes in like a Albanian touch.
Albanian touch. Okay.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's very like flowy and beautiful.
And sometimes like a piercing thing, like when they do the sounds like.
Like they drink alcohol.
Yeah.
How does the Korean language sound?
I feel like it's really like how
Nasally?
Nasal, yes. And for me, it's really difficult to do those kind of sounds. Korean has like a really distinctive way of pronouncing each thing, and if you don't do it, they don't really understand.
So you think the pronunciation and the intonation are difficult?
For me, yes, it is.
Yeah. Are you enjoying learning Korean?
Learning it is really difficult. It was stressful. It's still stressful.
So Korean's hard to learn.
For me, yes.
What's the hardest thing about learning Korean?
Probably if you don't really consume a lot of like K-dramas or stuff like that, it's really difficult.
If you don't.
That's why it's difficult for me.
Because you're not a fan of that.
I'm not really a fan of K-dramas. Like I watch some here and there, but not as much as I should.
Yeah.
So I don't really get to learn much vocabulary apart from like the textbook.
That's very interesting. So you think those people who do learn in that way, they have a huge advantage?
Yes, of course.
잠깐만 한 가지 말씀드릴게요. 혹시 제가 1대1로도 수업을 하는지 궁금해하시는 분들이 계신데요. 네, 하고 있습니다. 발음, 강세, 유창성, 문법, 단어 선택을 중심으로 한 1대1 개인 맞춤 영어 코칭이에요. 독학도 좋아요. 저도 많이 해봤어요. 하지만 아무리 영상을 보고 책을 많이 읽어도 분명 한계는 있습니다. 저와 1대1로 수업을 해보고 싶으신 분들은 아래 링크에서 자세한 내용을 확인하시고 우선 신청 리스트에 지원하실 수 있어요. 자리가 생기면 이 리스트에 계신 분들께 먼저 연락을 드립니다. 자, 그럼 다시 수업으로 돌아갈게요.
Are you guys enjoying your time in Korea?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
Dakgalbi.
Dakgalbi. Cheese dakgalbi?
Yes.
Oh, good choice. That's a good one.
Beef bulgogi.
Beef bulgogi. Oh. Kimchi. You like kimchi? Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Okay. Are you enjoying Korea so far?
Yeah, I love it.
Anything that surprised you?
The heating benches, like on the bus rides.
Yeah.
That's was crazy to me, and also on the subway sometimes.
Yep.
And yeah, in general, the people, because I'm from the countryside in Switzerland. But so far I've enjoyed it, and I love all the pop-up stores here.
So many pop-up stores.
Yeah.
So fun and exciting, right? How is it living in Korea now for 5 years? Are you guys enjoying your time here?
There are good days and then there are bad days. Yeah.
Like most countries.
Yeah. Like all countries, yeah, I guess.
I would say it's a very nice country to be a student in.
Yeah.
As for like working, I don't know. But
Harder to find a job, or what's that about?
Harder to find a job, harder to adapt to like the working culture.
The company culture.
Yeah.
Like just not a lot of opportunities, I guess, because sometimes Koreans, they tend to like box foreigners like into specific jobs or like occupations.
Yeah.
Cool. And you're gonna go do saju today, right?
I'm gonna get some. Let's hope we get good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So cool. So overall, you're enjoying your time in Korea?
It's very nice actually. It's my first time here and people are nice, food is great.
What brings you to South Korea?
This is actually my 8th time coming to Korea.
8th time?
8th time.
You're a fan.
I love it here. It's absolutely amazing. The food is great, language is great, everything is great here.
Everything's great. Wow.
Everything is great, yeah.
You see yourself maybe one day living here?
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're really a fan.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Jjajangmyeon. I love jjajangmyeon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. Did you enjoy it? If so, please let me know in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Sean, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.